Did you know that an African tribe predicted the existence of a star invisible to the naked eye centuries before modern astronomy? It's a mystery that's captivated researchers for decades.
Wow, that's incredible. Which tribe are we talking about, and how did they acquire this knowledge?
We're talking about the Dogon tribe, a small but culturally rich community in Mali, West Africa. They've held onto a treasure trove of astronomical knowledge that seems to defy explanation, particularly their understanding of Sirius B, a companion star to Sirius that's invisible without powerful telescopes.
That's fascinating. How accurate was their knowledge compared to modern astronomical findings?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. The Dogon not only knew about Sirius B, but they also described its elliptical orbit around Sirius A with remarkable accuracy. They said it completed its orbit every 50 years, which is incredibly close to the modern calculation of 50.1 years. And remember, this is knowledge they supposedly had centuries before Western astronomers discovered Sirius B in 1862.
That's that's mind-boggling. How could they possibly have known this without modern technology?
Exactly. That's the million-dollar question. Some researchers suggest their knowledge could have been passed down from an ancient, more advanced civilization. Others propose a more, out-of-this-world explanation.
Oh no, please don't tell me we're venturing into alien territory here.
Well, some theorists do suggest that the Dogon's mythology points to contact with extraterrestrial beings. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot more to unpack here. The Dogon don't just know about Sirius B. They have a celebration called the Sigi Festival that's directly tied to the movements of Sirius. It happens every 60 years and acts as a kind of celestial clock.
Hmm, a festival tied to star movements? That's quite unique. How does this tie into their broader astronomical understanding?
So central to this celebration is the belief that knowledge of Sirius was a gift from beings they call the Nomos. According to Dogon lore, these were amphibious creatures who descended from the heavens in a celestial ark. The Nomos supposedly brought the secrets of the universe, teaching the Dogon ancestors about the stars, the planets, and the interconnectivity of all things.
Amphibious creatures from the sky? Now, that does sound like something straight out of a science fiction movie. But, and I hate to be the skeptic here, how do we know this isn't just a misinterpretation or maybe some kind of elaborate hoax?
That's an excellent question, and it's one that's been debated in scientific circles for decades. The Dogon story was first documented by French anthropologist Marcel Griaule in the 1930s. His work, along with his colleague Germain Dieterlen, became the cornerstone of the Dogon-Sirius connection.
But surely there must be skeptics who question the validity of these claims, right?
Oh, absolutely. Critics argue that the Dogon's knowledge could have been influenced by European explorers, who might have shared astronomical insights prior to Griaule's studies. Others question whether Griaule's interpretations accurately reflected traditional Dogon beliefs, or whether his own biases colored the narrative.
Those seem like valid concerns. It does seem like there could be a lot of room for misinterpretation or contamination of information over time.
Definitely. And yet, skeptics struggle to explain the sheer precision of the Dogon's accounts. Were they simply a brilliant example of human ingenuity? Or does their story suggest something far more mysterious? It's a question that continues to puzzle researchers to this day.
It's certainly a fascinating puzzle. But I have to ask, even if we accept that the Dogon had this knowledge, why jump to the conclusion of extraterrestrial contact? Couldn't there be other, more mundane explanations?
You're right, there could be. While some theorists lean towards the extraterrestrial explanation, others suggest that the Dogon's knowledge could be the result of lost ancient wisdom, perhaps from a forgotten advanced civilization. Or it could be a remarkable coincidence combined with some cultural diffusion from outside sources.
So it sounds like there's no clear consensus on the origin of their knowledge. Where does this leave us in terms of understanding the Dogon's astronomical expertise?
Well, there's no clear consensus, and that's what makes this mystery so enduring and fascinating. It challenges us to reconsider the boundaries of ancient wisdom and the possibilities of human knowledge. The Dogon story. Whether you believe in extraterrestrial influence or not, reminds us that ancient cultures often held wisdom that we're still trying to fully comprehend.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That there might be so much knowledge out there that we've forgotten or haven't yet rediscovered.
Absolutely. And it encourages us to keep an open mind, to continue exploring and questioning. The universe is vast, and there's still so much to learn. It's worth noting that the Dogon's astronomical knowledge is just one part of their rich cultural heritage. They're known for their intricate artwork, particularly their masks and wooden sculptures, which often represent celestial bodies and mythological figures.
That's fascinating. It sounds like their connection to the cosmos really permeates their entire culture.
It really does. And it's a reminder of how deeply intertwined many ancient cultures were with the natural world and the night sky. In our modern, light-polluted world, we sometimes forget how important the stars were to our ancestors. The Dogon's cosmology speaks to the vastness of the universe, with myths detailing the interrelationship of celestial bodies and their influence on life on Earth.
That's an interesting point. Do you think there's something we can learn from this deep connection to the cosmos that the Dogon seem to have?
I think it reminds us of the importance of looking up and wondering about our place in the universe. The Dogon's knowledge, regardless of its origin, speaks to a deep human desire to understand the cosmos and our place within it. It's a desire that's driven scientific discovery for centuries.
Speaking of scientific discovery, how has the scientific community responded to the Dogon's apparent knowledge over the years?
The response has been mixed. Some researchers have been fascinated by the apparent accuracy of the Dogon's astronomical knowledge and have sought to understand how they could have acquired this information. Others have been more skeptical, looking for alternative explanations or questioning the accuracy of the original anthropological reports.
It seems like this would be a difficult thing to study scientifically. How do researchers approach this kind of mystery?
You're right, it is challenging. Researchers have to approach it from multiple angles. They study the Dogon's oral traditions, their artifacts, and their rituals. They also look at historical records to try to understand what outside influences the Dogon might have been exposed to. Some have even tried to trace the origins of the Dogon people to see if their ancestors might have had contact with more technologically advanced civilizations.
Well, this has certainly been a mind-bending discussion. It gives us a lot to think about in terms of how we view ancient cultures and their knowledge.
Absolutely. The story of the Dogon reminds us that there's still so much to learn about our world and our history. It encourages us to keep questioning, keep exploring, and to approach ancient wisdom with both skepticism and an open mind. Who knows? Maybe the next great astronomical discovery is just waiting for someone to look at the night sky with fresh eyes.
That's a wonderful thought to end on. It's been a fascinating journey through this cosmic mystery.
Indeed it has. Thank you all for joining us on Gen FM. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep looking up at the stars. Good night, everyone, and clear skies.